Hey, this is Dustin Wright.
And Becky Leebens.
We're with Portfolio Commercial, and we want to bring you kind of a market update. Let's call it Q1 2024, state of the market. And I got to tell you, I wish we had some really great things to talk about right now. But I think it's important that we maybe slow down for just a minute and kind of give you some of the realities of situations kind of going on in the market that we're kind of concerned about. And you can have a conversation with you, your clients, even for yourself, to what this means to you as well, right? So, Becky, what do you say is probably the leading challenge we're probably having in the market right now in terms of really working with our clients and helping them acquire property?
It's always about interest rates. Everybody's been waiting. What's happening with the banks? The banks are being really slow about dropping those rates. We had heard that rates were going to drop at the beginning of the year. Hasn't happened. Talked to a banker this morning, and he was thinking maybe by summer we'll see some moves. What's happening? They're still at 7.5%, 8%, when businesses have been used to and investors have been used to 5, 6. So you do have some investors in the market looking for, low fruit, but the banks really aren't cooperating.
Well, and I think that's probably the biggest challenge, right? Is looking for great investment deals where you're looking to tag it with a loan and where you're not paying cash. If you're rolling in 1031 money or something like that, you're paying cash, or at least you're more than 50% in terms of cash.
Right.
Okay, then we can still make a deal like that really work.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, a lot of our investors, they don't want to outlay that much capital into one particular property. And so it really kind of creates some challenges when you're at least probably 2 points off where you probably want to be to really make the cash flow work on an investment. And then that's the other challenge we have too, is the prices that people want for their property right now, specifically on the type of property. Price you're paying plus the debt service on the interest rate, there's just not a lot of cash flow and margin, so it's just not super attractive right now for a lot of investors, right, unless we can find the right specific deal, right?
Yeah, but there's opportunity. Where's the opportunity? If you've got a property that you're willing to carry some of that cash, meaning you got a strong buyer that has some cash, doesn't want to lend at 8%, you can take advantage of this market and maybe ask a little bit more and get a return on your cash by allowing seller financing.
Well, I mean, we talked to one seller just recently, owned a particular property for more than 20 years, right? It's really not too big of a deal for that seller to carry a note, even if it was just partially through the summer even.
Exactly, and it doesn't have to be long term.
It doesn't.
I mean, a couple of years, even less than that.
Yeah.
And it gives you some time to figure out what you're going to do with that cash and reinvest it. And maybe the prices drop. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, and I would say this too, if you're a seller out there and let's say you've owned a building for a good length of time, I would encourage you to really consider basically doing some owner financing deals. We can talk you through the specifics of it, of course, but a lot of times, like we've got one particular scenario where the buyers are willing to pay a little bit less than what the seller really wants for the building, but we're able to make the deal work because the seller's going to carry it from a financing standpoint, and we're going to make more than the overall sales price of what they want by carrying this note even for just a couple of years. And so we just kind of structure that deal where you really make it a win-win for both